There were stacks of notebooks and scraps of paper in her room. Recipes, I said to her. I mean, recipes? Seriously? What's the point of recipes if you got no friggin' ingredients? And she'd give me that look again. It was like talking to a wall. One day, we were sitting on the bed, waiting for the show to start. I always got that fluttery feeling in my tummy when the music came on, and they showed those clips of contestants in past episodes, cooking away all over the place. Quail consomme in Victorian England, ragi parantas in Harappa, an entire medieval banquet with roast suckling pig and sweet potatoes, and those langue de chat and petit fours in a Parisian salon. It was that episode when they went back to ancient Crete and had a pressure test for calamari dolmas on a bed of rocket and cilantro salad. And at the end of it, Mandy turned to me and said, and I remember this clearly because it was just the weirdest sentence I'd ever heard, I would have caramelized squid ink for the vinaigrette. I just looked at her. What? It would totally bring out the feta, she said, as if I was the idiot. When the show was over, Mandy took me by the hand and stood up. There's something I want to show you, she said. I followed her out of the room and down the stairs to the basement. She moved a pile of broken down crates and reached behind the pipes to bring out a battered old box. It had a long wooden handle, and the flaps on top hinged open, showing neat drawers stacked on top of each other. Inside, there were an assortment of knives, metal spoons, a long cylindrical thing made of wood, a pair of what looked like pliers with wire mesh at the ends, and all sorts of other stuff. My tools, she whispered. Then she took my hand and held it really hard. Stella, I've put my name in for the tryouts. I really thought she'd lost it. Okay, so she had somehow, God alone knows how, managed to collect all these bits and pieces of junk, and she'd read just about everything she could lay her hands on about cooking, but was all just theory. All the other contestants in the whole history of Master Chef had been from the elites, people who had money and resources. Some of them, even so people said, had kitchens. Not that they had much to do in them but play around with different blends of Nutri, but still, they came from a different world. She didn't stand a chance. I was so wrong. She aced the tryouts. At 15, Mandira became not only the youngest contestant to compete on MasterChef, but the only one ever who wasn't an elite. Imagine one of us, a girl from humble old Sector 87 up there on screen for all the world to see. Everyone went crazy. Mandira the Marvel, the headline screamed. Teen cooks her way into history. Mandy became a star overnight. She came back after a month and she was glowing. Seriously. She literally couldn't stop talking about all the food that she'd eaten. Oh my God, Stella, she'd say. The peas, you picked them like this. She pinched her fingers together and twisted, and then popped the pods. She flicked her thumb and index finger together and just eat them straight. And oh, they were so. And she'd put her fingers on her lips like she was remembering the sweetest kiss, and she'd be lost for words. A month later, the day the first round was broadcast, practically the whole block came over to watch. You should have seen her prep that halibut. Most people haven't even seen a fish, not outside Planet Ocean Aquarium anyway, but she had that fish deboned and on the slab as if she was born with a, what did she call it? A lithium ion fillet knife in her hand. What a party we had that night, and the week after, and the week after that, until all the contestants had been eliminated one by one, and it was down to the final three. Jerome with the floppy hair, Sherna, the big-boned girl from Sector 47, and our Mandira. When she left early this morning for the shoot, she seemed a little distracted, I guess. I put it down to nerves. I mean, even Mandy has got nerves, but now I'm not so sure. Before she left, she took me to one side. Stella, I'm going to beat them all. I'm going to win, she said. It wasn't even a question. Sure you are, Mandy. You're the best, I said. And although I meant it, not just that she was the best cook, but that she was the best, my best friend, it came out sounding pretty lame, even to me. But now, as the silver van approached the shining steel gates of AgriGlobal headquarters, I wondered if she had meant something else altogether. A security guard scanned our ID chips, and the gates slid open. The van drove up to the main gate, and my guys, the suits, got out with me. They walked me